Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
But Mommy, I don't want to go to school today. I want to stay home and bake cookies with you.
Oh dear. You did that really well.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how you do it. You're quite good at impersonations.
Sometimes, yeah. And it's because I just really grew up on the Looney Tunes. More so than Disney. That was more of a Warner Brothers child, I suppose.
You see my face, I was like, what? To be fair, it surprises me what is Warner Brothers, I guess. Disney is, obviously now it's branching out and it's going to get to a point of where you don't know what Disney is. But initially, Disney is self-explanatory. Like, it's Mickey Mouse and the princesses and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, you can't really just niche it
down as such, no.
No.
So we thought we'd jump on the latest trend and the bandwagon of things. This will be the most recent ever film that we've kind of covered, but this is going to be a discussion of a rewatch and a new film, so which we've done only once before, which was the Your Name and Weathering with You. That was like one of the very early episodes. I think,
just before COVID hit, and we could get into the cinema.
Yeah. And I guess, funnily enough, it's kind of like just before everything's kind of like opening. Well, lockdown restrictions are kind of like going to be lifting anyway now. So this is like the
yes, so it's like getting beforehand.
Yeah, so this might be the last thing we see for a while again. So
yeah, and we'll see how all that goes, depending on restrictions and such. I was brave and went. It wasn't as bad. It was lovely because it's been so hot here. I know we just can't cope, can we? We complain when we don't get nice weather, and then we complain when we get lovely weather. It's too warm. So it's nice being in this cinema where there was aircon in a dark room. So let's jump in. Should we be using the word jump a lot? Because obviously...
Jump.
And then there's that pump up a gym.
Pump it up. Yeah, so firstly we'll be talking just like our thoughts on rewatching Space Jam, and then we will do...
Do you know what I wrote the name down here as? Looney Tunes? I haven't even
the
put
movie.
Space Jam. I've just put Looney Tunes.
And then later on we will be talking about Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I'm glad you actually told me what it was called, because I don't actually know what I went to go see.
Saw it, the big screen on the titles and the trailers.
I sometimes just don't read. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, that's popped
up. It's called
up.
Space Jam 2.
Do you know what I did laugh about though?
Yeah.
Going on to just the bit where it said smack talk or something like that on the on the thing underneath. You know where it normally says violent or sexual scenes.
No, it says slapstick.
Oh, slapstick.
Not smack.
I thought it said smack talk. I really don't read, do I? I think I might need glasses. So the original Space Jam.
We'll begin with, and then, like I say, we'll go into the second one, and we'll start off fairly spoiler-free, and then we'll kind of have to go into spoilers, I guess, really. So this would be like God knows how many times I've seen this now. I lost count. I wish I had a tracker of like how many times I've seen this. Probably, I don't know if it's more than Jurassic Park, possibly.
Give over. I don't know. I highly doubt that's true.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see a tally.
Load of rubbish. I've seen Jurassic Park with you like about 5 times. I've only seen Space Jam with you once.
I think you've seen it before.
No.
You have.
Not with you.
Yeah, I think you have.
Well, why were we reviewing it then? I'm pretty sure we hadn't seen it together. I don't remember it. What is wrong with me? I'm like a little goldfish.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 watched one thing, then gone round a circle, forgot it completely.
Yeah. Would have been a while ago, but...
I don't think so. So, it opens up, and for me, I lately have got this 90s kind of nostalgia thing that I am really missing. And I don't know why, but I feel like I've got to that stage in my life where you're old enough to go, oh, don't you miss the 90s? I know that sounds really sad, doesn't it? Like,
not really.
You get to that stage where you're old enough to be like, oh, the good old days back in the 90s where...
I think we all have that, don't we, when we're of a certain age.
I just feel like the 90s, though, technology was on the rise. Yeah. You did have a computer and there was these archaic phones.
Yeah.
But it was a simpler time of life. You still had children being children. It wasn't like you were obsessed with like literally just Instagram and posting everything being immediate. You still had to be patient and wait for things. And I just think that is a better time of life. Whereas like right now, everybody just wants everything instant, and it's just mind-boggling to think that if somebody was brought back into the 90s world, like somebody that was born now, to live that, and even obviously that the 90s isn't even that bad. They could be brought further back, and I don't think they'd know what to do with themselves. But straight away, amazing 90s music. You open up with R. Kelly, I Can Believe I Can Fly.
He's not so brilliant now these days, though, is he? But
no, but
at the time, it was like
that was like iconic song, you know,
definitely,
back in the 90s. All really R&B kind of music was so popular back then.
This was a very cultural phenomenon film, really, for a lot of people, and it's a product of its time, definitely.
It's like trapped in a time warp, isn't it? It feels like
time capsule.
Yeah, it just feels like he's going back in time.
Well, I guess you could say that, yeah. But the concept of this whole film is really the brainchild of there used to be, obviously we weren't having preview to it over here because it's more of a US thing, but like Nike TV ads where Michael Jordan was doing like a promo thing with Bugs Bunny anyway, so... So it's kind of like this seems like a good thing, and we can market into global scale. And
I didn't know that. Really did not know that. That's interesting to know. Obviously, we don't really get the benefits and perks of basketball here.
Sadly, not. No, I kind of wish I did, because despite me not liking a lot of sports, this really struck a chord with me in terms of like, oh wow, basketball looks amazing, kind of.
It is fun. Like I always think of it like as netball, and I know it's not, because with netball you can't dribble the ball. You have to kind of more chuck in. But there's a hoop, and it just kind of does link with me better. If like used to hate rounders, and that would be the equivalent of baseball. And I was quite lucky enough. Obviously, I always dropped down. When I was little, I went to America. That always kind of now and again bobs in, and we were lucky enough to go to a basketball game. I feel like it was something Dolphins. Miami Dolphins? I don't know. If somebody knows what the Dolphin basketball team is.
What age were you? What year? It could. I presume it's probably the same, but it could.
I was probably like in year 6, so it will be.
Was it be 90s or 2000s?
Early 2000s.
Okay, right. Well, if somebody can help point that out, then
that'd be brilliant. Yeah. They wore purple, I believe.
Right. Okay.
If
That's
that
enough
helps
to go along with, then.
But and it was brilliant. It was the atmosphere of like the crowd. It's amazing.
And this opening as well is obviously very all hyper and gets you pumped with the opening song. It's just like a montage of like Michael Jordan and his success from from in the Chicago Bulls and everything. But it kind of makes you like you're really excited about.
I feel like I feel like basketball games are one of those that do it the best way of rallying somebody up to it. Yeah. I know they do have in America, don't they? They have their version of football.
Which is what they call football, which I still don't get.
Is it soccer?
Soccer is what we call football here in the UK. Yeah. But they call rugby football, which I don't get.
I don't get because they don't kick it.
You kick it over the... No, you don't even do that, do you? No, you don't. You run in with the.
They might do a kick, possibly, if they're exactly like rugby.
I don't know.
But they're more tuffling around, scuttering around, aren't they, really? Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely like to be able to either play basketball or to have a hoop in my garden. I'd love that. Can you even shoot a hoop?
Probably not.
I'm amazing.
Okay.
Speaking of Jurassic Parks, there was a little appearance of the horrible turd that is.
You're referring to Stan, aren't you? Michael Jordan's like personal assistant or whatever you want to call him. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to play the role of this person, like the annoying, bumbly kind of
comic relief, if you can call him that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just. Is that who he actually is? Is that him playing himself? Because, like, he's the same in Jurassic Park. He's like this, like, fumbling around and, sweaty mess.
Maybe a bit typecast, maybe, I think. I've never really watched many episodes of Seinfeld, but I know his character's named Newman or something in that. But
that sounds like a bad name already.
But, I don't know, I assume he's kind of like that kind of, like, bumbly.
So irritable, it really is annoying. And he was in Dirty Dancing and he was the same kind of character there. Like, everything I've seen, bless him, it's like, I'd rather not act if that's the role you're going to give me.
So this is coming round about the time, obviously, now that Michael Jordan is now retiring from basketball and now he's wanting to play baseball.
I don't understand, like, why would you retire for something that you're really, really good at? I know he obviously said his dad had passed away and his dad had seen his last game when he was successful.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you want to carry that on if you really love doing something? Like, I don't understand why you just sack it off now.
I don't know.
And he's rubbish at baseball.
But for some reason, all the, like, even the other opposite team, like, giving him hints like, oh, swing for the ball or don't hit it or whatever. It's like, why are you helping him out? Is it just like you starstruck or something?
I think they idolise him and they want him to do well. But that's not going to help him.
In his career, no.
No, because I think he's just then going to feel like he's good at it because everybody's just, like, pitying him. And it's like he doesn't want that. He wants to kind of be successful on his own accord because that's how he was with his basketball career.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That he wants to actually do well at baseball, but it's like, well, if everybody's going to pity me and try and just be up my bum, basically.
Helping hand, it's like not necessary. But before all that, anyway, is we have this lead up to going up to space, where we see this amusement park called Moron Mountain, which I think is kind of like, well, if you're calling it that, it's not a great start for your business anyway, is it, really? Setting yourself up for failure in a way. That bit did look a bit ropey, looking back on like the 3D elements of that. Initially, when it's kind of, obviously, again, for the time, late 90s, it's going to be, wow, it's revolutionary thing, but yeah, it's a bit like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't notice.
Well, and then quickly goes into the 2D anyway, so it's fine. You can overlook those parts. But you're introduced to this, like, well, Danny DeVito, essentially, playing an alien, called Mr. Swackhammer, which I didn't actually have to look up because I can't remember. I think maybe only mentioned once, actually, in the film, what his name is. But I
straight away knew, though, that it was Danny DeVito. I was like, I know that voice, I know that voice. And the little alien things, or whatever they are.
They're called, they again, someone had to look up, they're called the Nerdlocks.
Nerdlocks?
Yeah. Don't know why.
There was one little pink one that had such a super duper cute voice.
Yeah.
I really liked her. I'm guessing it was a her. It sounded like a her.
I think it was a him. They're all male, so just like a really squeaky voice. Because
I'd got it in my head. It was a she because of the way it spoke. It was very cute.
Okay.
Girls can play basketball too.
That's true. I know.
Like, at least in the other film, you kind of do get a bit of that. Whereas this is just definitely. Well, no, I guess you've got Lola, so I'll let it off.
Yeah.
But not on the other team.
But I think probably around that time it was more of a male-orientated game, really, wasn't it? So
doesn't need to be.
No. So yeah, they've got these little ones. So you're saying that the pink one is your favourite one, probably out of
yeah.
There's 5 of them, but the pink one, the blue one, and the orange one were the ones that really stood out, really, weirdly.
There was purple and blue.
Purple and the green one. I said the blue one. The blue one's got the personality. He's like the hippie stoner guy. Like.
So and the orange one's the main one.
Yeah, he's like the leader. Yeah. It was
monster. And the pink one's the cute one.
Yeah. The green and the purple one, to me...
The purple one I think is a bit ditzy, I think.
Yeah, they didn't come out as strong as the other two, so we're just going to...
Can't even remember the green one.
But you can when they're big, though, but...
Yeah, but it kind of...
But as the little ones, they
doesn't leave an impression.
Impressions, no. So what happens is the park's going down the pan, and they need some new attractions. And
I don't really know what this park is. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do they need a park? They're aliens. What is it, like the way of getting income in, or like is that what it is?
It's like anything, isn't it?
And it's like, well, why would somebody want to come and see the Looney Tunes at your park? You know, they'd want to see something related to the nerdlings or whatever you call them. Not something that doesn't even relate to where they are. Like, that's like going to Disneyland and then seeing, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something funny.
You could say, we need something epic, and then like Marvel, but it's like they've already done that, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So they make it to Earth anyway. Everyone's like taking it as like absolutely normal almost. Like, there's just a spaceship going past.
It's so bizarre. Bless it. It's like, I don't understand. Like, you'd have thought you'd have more of a reaction. You're just like, but then back in the 90s, you'd just be like, wow. You wouldn't think, I need to Google that. You'd just be like, okay, I think I just saw a spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan's acting is to be expected. It's not exactly top tier, is it?
Well, no, he's not an actor, is he?
No.
You know, he really isn't.
Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much, his acting. It's still kind of lovable enough for him to get away with it, I think.
Yeah.
Hasn't ruined his career, has it?
No. If anything, it's made him more of an icon, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
So aliens get down into Looney Tune Land.
This is amazing. I would love to be in Looney Tune Land. I used to love the Looney Tunes. My favourite was Roadrunner and...
Wile E. Coyote.
Thank you. Yeah. I was going to go the beep beep.
Yeah.
That was going to be my thing. What was your favourite Looney Tune?
I knew you were going to say this, but I think it is going to be Daffy Duck.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is that because you can do an impression?
Steppified. That's also kind of like Sylvester as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Why Daffy?
So I don't know. It's a bit like with the Disney as well. It's like, and the main cast, it's like Donald Duck. I don't know, maybe it's just...
What the hell? Is this something with ducks that you like? Even your favourite Pokemon's Gold Duck. I don't understand. Have you got a thing for ducks?
Don't know.
At least mine's different. Like, Goofy would be my favourite Disney one.
Yeah.
Like, out of the main generic, like...
Yeah, I know. Yes, what I meant by that, yeah.
Oh.
Don't know.
Maybe you just don't like people that speak correctly.
Maybe.
So, you've got the aliens in Looney Tunes.
Enslaving.
But somehow, Bugs is like, in your manual, handwritten.
Well, again, that's more his side anyway, isn't it? It's like his crafty ways about like getting around something, so that speaks to his character as a whole. So
I do like a good Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
He's sly.
Yeah. So getting the chance to defend themselves, writes in this book, they fall for it. So then they kind of decide on basketball is the best means of thing, despite the fact that none of them know how to play basketball, but they're just assuming just because they're little,
they'll have the upper hand. Which is quite funny, really, to be fair. Yeah. Also, Bugs should be good at basketball. He's got a bit of a spring and he can jump, so he should be able to get to the net. Or the hoop if you hip.
There was another thing as well, when obviously back in the real world, they stopped Michael's kids who were watching the TV. They're watching it like what looks like an old episode of the show, and then like Porky Pig comes to, like, stop the cartoon, and then, like, everyone just leaves, like, well, what does that mean? Are they all, like, live shows, or what?
It makes it sound that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or, like, they're videoing their life.
Yeah.
You know, like Kim Kardashian or something like that. Like, they're, like, constantly being filmed for whatever they do.
Yeah.
And obviously, they were off set at that point when they had to kind of save Looney Tunes. Yeah. Feels like one of those kind of things where you'd have, like, a town meeting hall or something, you'd attend for the Looney Tunes. Luckily, obviously, they think of basketball being a brilliant idea, but they need somebody to teach them.
Well, I haven't got to that part yet, have they? Because they're thinking else would be a piece of piss, but the aliens learn that the NBA is the place to go in and, like, finding the best players in the world to kind of, like, sap the powers of them to get the skills they need to.
They could have just learned it. You don't get anywhere in life if you steal something.
No.
Could have just learned it. No. Yes, they look really shifty in this court.
Oh, yeah, I mean, come on.
And the lady next to him just looks like a typical stereotype of a 90s woman, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like, really, really stereotypical with the short hair, and it was, like, literally just like that was kind of like the style back then. So, yes, they steal the
various players. Yeah.
Basketball skills.
Yeah.
Should we say?
Yeah. That's how it works. They just.
I just wish that was the thing, like
slime, jelly, snot, whatever, and just go up the nose and
steal whatever they want inside somebody, and then take it off. And then obviously the basketball players are, like, now trying to dribble a ball and they don't know what to do, or catch a ball and it's hitting them in the face. Yeah.
So with that, now they go back to Looney Tune Land and now get this ball, and then they transform into these big monsters, or monstars, as they're called.
I liked them when they were smaller better. I'm not going to lie. I actually weirdly forgot that they were small beforehand.
Right.
So I just remember them as these horrible kind of monster, big alien things. Yeah. And I didn't really like them when I was little. I'm not going to lie. Because obviously, I like cute little things.
Yeah.
So I didn't like them. And I wanted, obviously, the Looney Tunes to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the little versions were just so much cuter. Like, wouldn't that have been a better movie to watch little aliens going pew, 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 with the basketballs, no?
No. I suppose I missed a trick with them, actually. I don't remember there being any, like, merchandise for them.
They're so adorable.
Because they would sell, like, probably like hotcakes.
Yeah, I would want the pink one.
Yeah. But yeah, sadly, they are now big monsters that kind of represent the players that they've absorbed. So the pink one is the smallest basketball player.
Yeah.
The blue one's like the tallest white basketball player and everything. So yeah. But
they do quite well with how they've done it.
Yeah.
So then it's like Bugs Bunny's trying to figure out how to play basketball.
So he needs help from
Michael Jordan. So this is quite funny because I actually didn't know how Michael Jordan got roped into this. This is like a part where I'd forgotten from previous watching. Like I knew that Michael Jordan helped play basketball, but how he got roped into it had completely passed my mind. So the fact that they were playing golf on a golf course, obviously.
With Bill Murray.
With Bill Murray, of all people. Bill Murray's amazing.
Yeah, he kind of, as usual, kind of like steals the show a little bit with his acting chops.
And his humour's amazing. Yeah, so. He's a little bit on the lines for me, and I know you might be like, really? Robin Williams is kind of like that. He's like one of those actors that's just so brilliant that he's gonna outshine anybody that's on a set.
Yeah.
It's just that personality, isn't it? It's just
definitely.
Anything he says is funny.
It just works, and it's one of the selling points as well, especially seeing it as an adult now as well.
And one of our favourite Christmas movies in the Wilkinson household is Scrooged, and obviously that's Bill Murray all over. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's fantastic. It's the best Christmas Carol version. You said Bill Murray, and that's literally where I go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know any of the Bill Murray brilliant movie apart from Scrooged? Like off the top of your head that I could have gone with instead of Christmas?
Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Crack.
the original movie. Well, was that like our first one that we reviewed?
No, it was Kiki's Delivery Service. But
yeah, but I think that was only like a little small clip, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Groundhog Day, Lost in Translation. That's not really comedy as such, but...
Is that the one with Scarlett Johansson
Yeah,
in?
that's right.
Hey, look at me. I'm a movie buff. I've seen loads of films now.
But yes, he gets sucked down into his golf hole because Bugs Bunny does like a magnet to
I didn't know.
get the ball down, and then it's like, right, you're here now, so I'm gonna...
I know this sounds really naive. Like, I didn't actually know that's where they were going with him, dragging him through a golf hole to bring him to Looney Tunes.
Oh, right.
I didn't know how he got there.
Oh, right.
And I always thought Bugs was being generous, kind of like, oh, you've won the golf course game or something, so now you have to come with me because I helped you.
Okay.
So I was really reading into it.
No, but so now, yeah, he's going to like, well, we need your help. Michael, please help us. Everything. But it really doesn't... And for obviously for them, it's like, well, it's fine because they need help from a professional. But in this story, it's kind of like, what does he really get out of it other than, like, I guess it more comes to like when obviously he kind of meets these monsters in the thing. It's kind of seems a bit more for pride, if nothing else. That's kind of like when they hit Tweety Pie, knocking back. It's like, oh, you're not scared of them, are you, Michael?
Yeah, that is true.
So it's kind of like, well, I'll just, you picking on. Yeah, I guess they did squish him into
they did
a ball that looked pretty horrifying actually. If you as a 3D whatever that was, yeah.
I think as well, he's thinking of his children watching Looney Tunes and that kind of connection. They're wanting to not kind of them look after them kind of thing, and maybe he's more of a kind-hearted man.
Yeah, he's one of like, I'm going to let anything happen to you guys type of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of cause... I
really like Michael Jordan in this, actually, as his character. Even though he's not the brilliantest of actors, he's still like a really...
Sometimes he's maybe not looking directly at
no.
what he's interacting with, but...
Well, yeah, and if somebody wasn't telling him exactly where he should be looking, if they didn't know where they were going to put Bugs and then they hadn't told him and he's just...
Yeah.
It must be hard, like, acting when there's nobody there and you're not even an actor. So it kind of comes to this point for me, which makes me giggle.
Yeah.
Where they're like, there's something wrong with the basketball players. They've kind of been taken away with their skill and they can't play basketball. That they don't want to actually now the rest of the basketball players go into the stadium. Yeah. They think something's wrong with the stadium and that whatever's happened to these previous 5 is going to happen to them and they don't want to go back in.
Yeah.
And it just makes me chuckle because it's like, there must be some germs or something in there that's causing this problem. And then they put these big, like, gas masky kind of things on. And I don't know if it's just because of the pandemic or something like that, but it
if they only knew what's in the future,
just tickled a bit of a funny bone with that. I know.
It's so hard not to think of that these days, isn't it? When you're thinking,
it made it feel like that's something that they thought was really extreme at that point. To be like, oh, germs could possibly cause this problem. And then it's like really relatable.
Right now,
Yeah, so it was a bit like, this line should be funny, but it's funny for us,
Well, yeah.
Not funny, but like scarily relatable.
Ironic,
definitely.
Yeah. Also, in terms of germ stuff, they're doing cleaning up the gym and they're doing the spit shine on the thing. I'm thinking, that's disgusting, isn't it? Like, just spitting on the floor.
It is disgusting, but you know what? If I could have Taz in my house whizzing around cleaning things like that, and it were done in like 5 minutes.
Less, yeah.
Oh, less. I'd be well made up.
Yeah. I think it's around this time as well we get introduction of Lola.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. No? Do you want me to carry on?
No. Oh. Which, again, it's trying to play on the Jessica Rabbit side of things, really, but I don't see it, really.
She's pretty. Obviously, she's not sexy.
She's trying to definitely come across where it's like with the music and everything, it's obviously played on that heavy, isn't it?
A little.
Everyone's doing like wolf whistles and all that kind of...
Yeah, but she's the prettiest one round, isn't she, out of all of them, unless you're going to be dating Granny.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, what other girl is there?
Yeah.
Like, there isn't.
No.
Obviously, she's not got as much sex appeal, and I don't think she should have, really, as Jessica Rabbit, because it's a different movie.
Yes, different tone, but they definitely were playing up to it a little bit with the "Don't Call Me Doll" and, like, wasting saying certain things, but...
Yes, but it wouldn't be pulled off because the tone of the film is different.
Yeah. Like, say, girls could play basketball too, so it's kind of like a stronger lead.
If anything, she's better than any of them.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Apart from, obviously, Michael Jordan, of course.
yeah, obviously.
just in case people thought I meant that.
But Michael actually needs his gear, doesn't he, to play on the courts? He can't just...
Oh, this is so cute. Yes, he does. So your favourite Daffy Duck, which I can't believe, like, I still don't understand. And then Bugs Bunny.
In 3D land.
I don't know why you like Daffy Duck so much, because he's just annoying. Bless him, he's like, no, I need to go this way. I can't even do a Daffy Duck accent. But
that's not Bugs Bunny. He doesn't have lions.
If you ask me, I prefer Bugs. Daffy's just annoying. He just thinks he's right and he's always wrong. So going into Michael Jordan's house to get his shoes or sneakers or whatever you call them in America.
Yeah.
So they go and get his shorts and his jersey, is it as well?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just putting everything in a bag, yeah.
But, the little girl, oh my goodness, she's like this beautiful little thing, isn't she? She's so dinky, but perfectly cute. Like, I've never seen someone so cute before.
Or when she goes and, like, toddles along to tell the other boys about being in the...
But it's the way she's, like, shocked, and then she's like, right, okay. And she's scuffling.
Yeah.
Like, shh. Let's be quiet. Like if you'd seen Santa Claus in your house, you wouldn't want Santa to see you, so you'd have to go back to bed. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Did you clock the line about all those things about lunch boxes and things? Like, did you ever see any money from that? Talking about the merchandising that they're basically all the Looney Tunes on, and there's like, oh no, I haven't seen any of that money kind of thing. We need to do new agents. Kind of thing is like, so they are kind of like slaves to the Warner Brother company already, and early on there was like Daffy Duck like had the logo on his bum and he was kissing it. So it's obviously slave to that. So not even going to be slaves to the aliens when they're already slaves to the company. But So, at this point, obviously, we have this dog that seems to be like the most powerful dog in. Things he like break down doors and scale up to monstrous sizes when it needs to, and
knocks down Michael Jordan, which he's like a rock.
Yeah,
like
come on, yeah.
What dog could do that? Yeah.
And the kids like then come in to save them and like get them away and everything. So, and the kid in that one of the boys is like, oh right, when he's like. Bugs was telling about the game he's going to be playing. It's like, oh, yeah, that's not.
It's a bit cheesy.
But could you not get a better take of that? And it's like, oh, come on.
I guess I didn't even twig. I was just more happy that the little girl was still just there, and she's like so cute.
Yeah,
didn't even pay attention to the others.
At this point, now they're heading back down to Looney Tunes Land, and at the meantime, Stan has been digging this hole at the golf course trying to find Michael because he's thinking he's trying to avoid him or something. So,
well, to be fair, I would want to avoid him. He's that annoying. He is, isn't he? He's so annoying.
Yeah, but somehow he managed to come back down to Looney Tunes Land via the same
Poor
hole.
Michael is like, why of
he's
all
kind of
people?
Like his face, like, what? How did you
get in here?
Yeah, which is actually a question. Actually, when they question that later on with Bill Murray, so it's kind of odd, but.
Yeah, but maybe it's because obviously he did see Bugs and Daffy, so he might have just somehow tagged along, so they were aware of it. Whereas Bill Murray,
no, I don't think they were aware of it. It just came after the fact because they.
Yeah, but sometimes people know when they're being followed. However, I didn't know that you only needed 5 people to play basketball.
I said that in the video at the beginning.
But I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that was the thing. So obviously we've
Well, I
got...
didn't know until I saw this film, but obviously I was young anyway, so I was like,
Obviously,
oh, well, that's...
when I watched the basketball
Yeah.
game, I didn't really count how many men
Yeah.
were on the team when we were in America
No,
either.
I suppose. But then again, it's a bit confusing when you start playing the game in this one because there seems a lot of substitutions in between.
I was like,
Because
saying to you,
there's
wasn't
like, why is, hang on, that character's come on the pitch now, why is...
Yeah. Well, because literally there was only 5 main alien nerdlings. And it's like, well, okay, there's 5 of them. Why is now we've got Tweety Bird and, you know, all these people coming in, and it's like, what's going on? Like, but yeah, it's definitely substitutes. They all kind of get a bit of a beating, don't they? Bless them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously this is where things get ramped up and everything. It's like, yes, this is the part we've been waiting for, really.
So the actual game.
Exciting, yeah. Yeah, and it's in like a, well, yeah, like a stadium, like it would be in like a normal situation, so it's all as it should be. Although I did clock this time watching it, and it's a bit like, oh, again, by technical eye, I suppose you would say, when with the how they populated the crowd in the stadium, I noticed a lot of the, other than when they're doing close-ups of certain characters, which are more hand-drawn and everything, a lot of them were just like essentially GIFs on like 2D planes on the back, so they're flat characters, 2D characters on a thing, and just angled in a way so it was like 3-dimensional to fit the 3-dimensional space that was going on in there. But it was kind of like just cycling through on just the same.
I didn't notice that at all. I didn't, but I guess that's because of your eye, the line that you do with work. I also think it's because it's so much going on the court. Like, I didn't even notice the background, to be fair.
But I can know for a fact how difficult it is to populate scenes with a lot of stuff to, you know, like, so it's not just super obvious that you're kind of putting the same animations or whatever in the thing, you're kind of making the scene like, what's the quickest way to get around that? There's always the thing, so I can understand that's all about it fly, I suppose, but it's kind of just, yeah.
Let it fly. But you're like, but also you need to be bearing in mind technology back then.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it was the 90s, so we didn't have everything that was fandangled as we do in the new movie, so, you know, you've got to definitely give kudos for the effort that they did put into this. So, obviously, initially on the first half of the game...
Yeah, they're getting pulverised.
Yeah, and the morale's down, and obviously they're not aware of how big they are and how brilliant these people were going to be, you know, the little nerdlings.
Yeah.
Because obviously they didn't know that they'd sucked the skills off the basketball players at this point. Second half comes around, and it's this magic water.
Michael's secret stuff.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, give me that. And it is funny how the brain is such a magical tool of, if you think you can, you will be able to. And if you think you can't...
self-confidence,
Yeah. Whereas you need sometimes to have a bit of a trickery in your brain to think, oh, this is going to help me do whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of making an excuse of why you can't do something, because it's so much easier to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously this is one of the better parts of the thing anyway, because it's the Looney Tunes being loony, so it's kind of like using what they have as an advantage, because the other guys are just playing like dirty.
Yeah, and just being mean.
Yeah. So you've obviously got like Wile E. Coyote like strapping dynamite to the hoop and everything, and all those kind of things, so it still plays. And there's like a Pulp Fiction reference where I think you've noticed this time. You probably wouldn't notice that before.
Or I would have done and be like, what is that? What relevance is that? I don't know why it was there though, to be fair.
For the adults, I don't know.
Yeah, I just didn't get why it was in there. It kind of makes more sense for the other film that we saw today.
Kind of, yeah.
A bit more so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little bit, it was funny, it was, but I was like, what's going on? But it was so loony that it was just absolutely brilliant, was the second half. The first half, was it, because obviously we were just playing normal basketball and getting smashed, basically.
Yeah.
There is a part, though, where Bugs is quite romantic and a hero for Lola, where he kind of jumps in front, doesn't he, because there's this big... one of the nerdlings,
the orange one, I think,
comes in and he's going to kind of crush them. Yeah. And he kind of steps in front and says, would you do that for me?
What if some big fat alien was coming to jump on you?
Yeah.
Probably.
Or would you run the other way? Like, nope, that's fine, so I'll leave you to that, love. See you later.
I'm hoping that never happens.
Probably I'd be the one that would be trying to kick his ass one. Like, get off me.
Yeah. But then it kind of switches up again back to in their favour because the stakes change. The boss of Moral Mountain wants Michael Jordan instead of the Looney Tunes, or Michael offers himself to be in their place, which is kind of like, well, it's all very well and good unless you were super confident you were going to win. You got like a family, wife and kids, and you're just going to leave them, type of thing. But this, so then obviously the Monstars are then like crush them type of thing, and then they just go back to the like
extreme dirty.
Looney Tunes that lose the streak really, and they kind of get battered and bruised and everything.
They do, but they pull it back, don't they? In the end, they do.
Sort of last sort of thing, yeah. But it kind of comes apparent after the point of where Stan then, who gets a play, he gets crushed, he gets flattened, and then blown up again in the 3D monstrosity. And everything, and then it's like Michael's like, well, how do you manage to do that? It's like, well, this is Looney Tune land, so you can do whatever you want.
Like, why didn't I know that earlier?
Yeah, thanks. So 10 seconds, isn't it? Thing, and then this is where Bill Murray then comes in at the end to save because they need an extra fifth player. Yeah. To the forfeit. So
even though I don't really know what he does really on that, he's just not, obviously.
Yeah, pass the ball. But
that's it. Like literally, you just see one little shot of him, and then that's his basketball career done with.
On a high, and then it's like, can't get any worse than that. So then win the game with that because Michael stretches his arm at the end in the longest 10 seconds ever. Yeah,
it does feel that way, doesn't it? It's like slow-mo 10 seconds. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's like 30 seconds it's taken for me to watch him put this hoop in the ball in the hoop. Yeah. Longest 10 seconds in the world.
So then last sort of thing is when the Monstars then get rid of the boss because it's like, well, we can get rid of him now because we're bigger than him. So it's like, well,
but that doesn't mean anything. Like, you don't have to be bigger than anyone to get.
That's not a particularly good message, is it? Really, so, just because you're bigger, we can bully you now, type of thing. Yeah.
Not great.
But I mean, obviously, in the sense of thinking, well, he's a bad guy and he deserves it. But
but to be fair, all the other messages within this film were pretty top notch. Yeah, they're saying believe in yourself and you can do anything. Like, that's kind of the mantra, isn't it, of the film?
Yeah. So then Michael's got to go back to his baseball game now. So they leave, and that's last you see the Looney Tunes, which is kind of thing. I remember thinking when I was younger, it's like, oh, it seems like forever now. Like, that's it, and we've still got loads left. But watching this, it was only about maybe 10 minutes or something, and it was like pretty wrapped up after that. Yeah, they give the talents back to the basketball players in real world, and has Michael like rethink everything, and he goes back to playing basketball.
Where it should be. Yeah. So it works all well, and it's a nice little all-round movie tied up in a little bow. Nothing missing out, all kind of ticked.
I think so, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So, we're not going to go into scoring as of yet. We're going to
do that at the end.
And reevaluate both. So, going into the movie that we've seen today, which is called The Looney...
Nope.
No? Not Looney Tunes?
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
So, why they had to make another one is beyond me. The original was brilliant anyways.
It's kind of like a little too late, really, to be doing this, like 25 years or so.
Don't you make me feel old.
To be bringing this out now, it seems like, maybe if you want to do it sooner, but people are like.
Yeah, it seems to be one of those things lately I've noticed more so, and this makes me sound even older, is that things are slowly coming back around for the 90s.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. And it's like, oh, remember Space Jam? That was brilliant. It was a hit then. Let's try and redo it. And I feel like nobody has any new ideas anymore.
No, definitely not. No.
So it's like, oh, well, we just have to recreate everything again and again.
Yeah. No, this isn't a remake. This is just a sequel that was just long overdue, and it just doesn't.
It's like the Marvel movies. Like, now we're going backwards, aren't we? Like, we've finished it, but now we're going to go show you other stories that have not happened.
Yeah.
It's like they're just trying to make money out of it, and it's like, well, is that what this is as well? A little bit.
Yeah.
They're throwing a lot of money into it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. They've got, they've had to. Warner Brothers is mentioned like every second.
God, it's ridiculous. Like, how much have they put in? And also, I wasn't aware what was Warner Brothers. Like, that really shocked me. Like, I knew Harry Potter was. I'm obviously Harry Potter fan. No, it's Warner Brothers. The Game of Thrones, that floored me. I was not aware. I don't know if you were aware. I was not.
Not as so. I know it was HBO was broadcast on, but I didn't know it was under that umbrella as such.
I think King Kong, like, I know.
And a lot of other things that you kind of see. You've probably seen, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen a lot of things anyway, like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, you name it, really. And then there are all these weird things that shouldn't be in a kids' film, like there was The Matrix, that was referenced also.
Yeah, it was, which made me laugh actually, because we'd only just previously reviewed that. So if you want in a good one, definitely go and check that one out.
Yeah, definitely. Good laugh. And then things like the Game of Thrones, like the Ice King and all those other things in the crowd.
I'm like, so weird. And there were wildlings, and then there was something else that was a bit weird.
Like Wizard of Oz, character like Flying Monkey, and then It.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell? Why would you put a creepy clown?
Exactly, in a kids' film, no less, which is rated U. So it's like, this is so jarring. Like, what are you doing?
I feel like they're trying to target the adult audience as well.
Absolutely, but remember, we've got all these properties that you can go see on.
Just felt like a big advertisement, like for Warner Brothers. It was like, well, wait a minute, this is the Looney Tunes movie, isn't it? You know,
yeah, exactly.
Not Warner Brothers movie of his, like a big advertisement of what we do.
No,
because like if Disney did that, that'd get annoying.
Yeah, it would.
It would get really grating. It did get a little bit annoying, to be fair.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got as basketball player
LeBron James in this one instead.
Which comes across as a bit of a character, a bit more of a douchebag than compared to Michael Jordan. Like, Michael Jordan's a lovely family man, and they try and portray him as that. But he's
obviously, it's with the times, and it's more of a cultural icon, really. You know, millions of followers, all that kind of stuff. Entrepreneur, apparently, and thing. I mean, I'm not up in touch with Michael Jordan, but you know, like in terms of modern day basketball, I've no idea how influential he is and what he's really doing. Obviously, he's a big name, but
it's first I've heard of him. To be completely frank, it's first I've heard of him. And what's his name again?
LeBron James. Or King James is referred to as his nickname. So, but so before we go any further, in case we do like spoil anything, we best say spoilers now. For major things in the plot, because obviously it's kind of going into things in that from the trailer. You kind of get the gist of how the story is going to go anyway, but it's kind of the film's kind of explains a bit more like, oh, how did we get here? I guess. Yeah,
because there was a couple of gripes I had just from the trailer that didn't make me want to go and see this film. Was the fact that they had to have like real life animation, and then it was like 2D and then 3D.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, why are we needing so many different levels of platforms of like styles here? Like, what's wrong with just one and sticking with it? Like, you've got obviously Roger Rabbit, that works, and they don't need to change anything. It's just that's that style, and that's it. And it's the same with the original Space Jam, you know. So I was like, I don't know why we're splashing out so much cash to have all these different designs, like the amount of work that had to go into it as well.
Yeah, it's all just very vibrant and flashy, and it's kind of like very ADD, kind of like flashing around, kind of going, oh, look at this, look at that.
Oh, look, everything's just so shiny.
Technology, and it's so brilliant. It
just annoys me. Yeah. It's like, is this what really children need? Like, everything to be so shiny and perfect and fast and quick nowadays? Like, is that like literally life now?
That's what studios think, but then
I think as well it didn't gel with me as much because I'm a 90s baby. So the music and everything in the original Space Jam, it's just amazing. Whereas this one, it's like, I think it just doesn't...
There was nothing on about this that really struck a chord with me in terms of certainly not music anyway. There's nothing in like, wow, that tune's sick.
I
or
can't
whatever.
actually remember any music.
No, I can't. I really can't. There's nothing. Normally, I'm like, oh yeah, there's such and such a song or whatever, even if it's something that's an old song that's being used in from.
I think there was one old song that they did use that from the original Space Jam, possibly.
Probably, yeah, I can't even recall.
That was the only one I remember.
Was more the
yeah, which I think is just like a definite baseball, basketball game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously the whole reason behind this is King James doesn't really support his children, really, in a sense.
Well, he's one son who's not interested in really doing the basketball thing.
It reminds me of you a little bit.
Why?
So like you weren't a big fan of football when you grew up, and your dad was like really passionate.
Yeah, but he wasn't like trying to force me into. He wasn't like he was a football player.
But
himself,
then it's like your arts and crafty kind of thing. Sometimes I think your dad's not aware of it as much because he doesn't get it.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of the similar situation with this. So it's like one of those where
we know where the storyline is going, don't you? Really, with that, it's like, oh, the father doesn't believe in the son. The son's like, oh, yeah, I'm not. You don't believe me, Dad. Like, annoyed at you, kind of thing. And
it
then
kind of reminded me of the Marshalls. Meet the Marshalls,
Mitchells and versus the Machines.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminded me. Same kind of style of, the dad doesn't think I could do animation or anything creative or video games. It's the same kind of beat.
Tried and true. Yeah, you know where it's going to go. Yeah.
What is good though is obviously the fact of how they meet the Looney Tunes, how we get like poor Bugs Bunny being on his own in Looney Town, because obviously Warner Brothers have said, oh, you can branch out and you can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, with this what is called algorithm, because the algorithm, it's like, oh, that's clever, isn't it?
That did annoy me, actually.
And then the whole reason is kind of like his son's been kidnapped into this world or whatever, and he's going to play the basketball game, is because, which I'm on board with LeBron James on this, the fact that the studio or the algorithm that is kind of like pulling the strings on all this is like, because he's such a popular icon or whatever, and so let's have him part of the Warner Brothers 3000 launch, whatever, and have him being a part of absolutely everything that Warner Brothers has to offer. So, like, there was the thing of like, oh, Batman versus LeBron James. Like, why? This is such a cringy idea to have him just, oh, let's just put him in Game of Thrones. Let's put him in playing Quidditch. It's like, what? Why? That is such a stupid corporate thing to think, oh, that's a fantastic idea and people are going to love that.
I think it's great.
In this film that's clearly doing the same thing, just showing on in loads of things in. So it's like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And he kind of says, also, LeBron says, oh, athletes doing acting, it's not a good,
even though he's doing acting
type of thing, which is again like so ironic. So it's like, what? So stupid. The idea is stupid of that. Even thinking that would work as a concept is daft.
Because they are doing what they've already said he doesn't want to do. So it's like really, really contradicting itself, isn't it? Really.
I mean, he was a bit ropey at the start, but it gets
better.
It gets a little bit better as it goes along. I guess you kind of succumb to it a little bit, but
he is annoyingly better than Michael Jordan
in terms of
acting. He is more tolerable, but
you think he comes across as a douche anyway. He really is. Overall. Yeah.
Pretty much. In the end, he comes out a bit better.
It's like, I love you, son type of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess on top of that, it's kind of like when he's trying to like coach the Looney Tunes, when he gets the gang together after he kind of like gets them all from like, well, you've got them in Daffy Duck as Superman and Foghorn Leghorn in Game of Thrones, and
to know how you felt about Daffy Duck as Superman, like that. If that's like your favourite character from the Looney Tunes, and then your most despised character in one, it's like, how does that feel? Was she being Batman?
That was Bugs Bunny though, wasn't it? So
yeah,
in that scenario. So what was I saying about he's kind of like gets them all together, and then he's coaching them, and he's kind of being a bit more strict about like how they should play, not in his way.
Yeah.
Not their Looney Tunes way like they did in the first because that's all they know, really, isn't it? So
Yeah.
It's not working against these characters that the kid has made in his little basketball game.
I like the concept, the way that they did it, because
Yeah.
it's clever. The actual concept behind the film, because when you look at the trailer, it's just like they're trying to bomb everything in. But they do have a bit of a concept that this game is obviously his dad, and he's going to compete his dad basically within the game.
Yeah.
And trying to show his dad that actually the game that he's created is good.
Yeah.
And that he is into building games instead of playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of works out well. But I think the algorithm, like, isn't he from Marvel?
Yeah, he is. He's the War Machine.
Like, I really like him in that. And this one, I absolutely hate him.
He's proper, like, chewing the scenery a bit, like, being, like, proper, like, get cringy in himself, like, the way he's acting is, like, making, like, all, like, super duper over the top.
I just don't know why he accepted the role, because, like, he's had such a brilliant career, and it's like, this is a crap role for you.
Yeah.
You've gone from Marvel respectful to this kind of, like, shit algorithm character that's, like, just nobody would like.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe we wanted to just try something different. Maybe that's it. So, the reason why we have 3 different platforms, obviously we've got live action just because it's...
Yeah.
It is,
It's how it is, yeah.
Yeah, and then Bugs Bunny and everyone should be animated. That's fine.
In the 2D version of themselves, which works. That's fine. I didn't have a problem with that.
I didn't have a problem with how they looked either.
Look fairly clean, and I guess I'll accept that as it looking like nice and sharp and everything. And everything. It's not like the old style drawings, but that's fine. But
still not too far from it.
Yeah, exactly. It works. It's more modern, but in a traditional sense. But then we have to go, like I say, go through the thing of, well, we've got to have 3D because the kids like 3D now.
Yeah.
And they just look really, some of them anyway. I think it's definitely more, and again, favouritism of Daffy Duck, but he looks like one of the best ones anyway.
Give over.
It's really because of the fur on like Bugs, and Lola. Definitely looks really weird, and the way she's like smiling, it doesn't really
pull off. I know what you're meaning.
It's kind of odd.
What about Tweety Bird?
Oh, he's okay, but again, it's not. He's kind of smooth. Even he's got feathers as such. He's kind of smooth and everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look too bad for him. But it's ones when you applying the hair.
Just looks a bit too realistic for your liking, doesn't it?
It just comes across odd looking. And then there's these other CGI villains, the Goon Squad, which I think is a stupid name.
Yeah, they're trying to do the nerdlings, I think, aren't they?
The Monstars was a better name.
Goonies, that's all that comes in my head. Yeah, yeah.
It is, yeah. They're meant to look badass and everything, but it's kind of just, well, they're kind of more based, well, they're kind of utilising more of the players that he'd scanned in from his phone of actual other players from the part of the NBA or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, let's combine them with a snake, a spider, water, fire for some reason. That was a bit weird one. And
like, how can you be water and fire? Like, I don't understand. You'd put yourself out.
Wet fire or something?
Something weird like that, yeah. And then there was a falcony bird thing.
Yeah.
I think that was about it, wasn't it?
And a time chrome robot guy. I don't know. That was like new character unlock, because that was another thing as well. They started doing to make it hip and thing for the modern age, and so LeBron James is like, what, this makes sense kind of thing, like because it's a video game, so you're having like style points and
leveling
all
up
these
and
stupid things to get
and
scoring.
Skills. So it depends
skill
on
unlock and all that bollocks.
And how you scored depended on like how advanced the actual.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So like some points you could, literally when you shoot a hoop, normally it's 1 point.
Or however,
or 2 or whatever. It was like coming out as like 10 or 10,000 depending on how you did it.
Yeah.
To do a backflip and a
somersault.
Yeah.
It's all very got to have those 6 skills.
I feel like the game went on for a bit too long for my liking.
The whole film went on for a bit too long, really. It was nearly, I think the film was nearly 2 hours, but the other one was a lot.
It flew by, and the game wasn't even too long. Whereas this went on, and it was like, it's growing arm and legs. This game is now. It's like it's not enjoyable anymore. You know who's going to win, but you just like, can we just figure out how now?
Yeah, I know it sounds really cynical, don't we? Because it's kind of almost in a way the same sort of beats as the first one. So, well, if you like that one, why don't you like this one? But it just seems like there's a lot more faults in it because of how long it is. It's trying to hit the emotional thing of like more of a backstory with the father-son relationship. I don't know, just the cringy concepts that we've got going on, all the crowd, South the Warner Brother lot, all just these, they've got also like Batman and Robin from like the old Batman and Robin in there as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see them.
Close proximity. A lot of things from like the other Batman, like Batman Returns, Batman Forever.
They were wasted on me.
Clockwork Orange things. It's like that's very risky for having something like that in a.
I just don't get it. I like even the Game of Thrones stuff. Like I love Game of Thrones, but you don't put that with Looney Tunes. Like that just is work. Bizarre.
No,
it's two different entities. It's just you don't merge the two.
No, really don't. Really don't understand.
So obviously, King James wins, and his son in the relationship is all sorted, and then he goes on to the Looney Tunes team, and they beat and defeat the algorithm, and then it's kind of like, they just all go home.
Yeah, that was another thing because there's no point because the fact the other side of the crowd is people who like going to like live streaming the show and fans of LeBron James will be like watching the game or whatever on the phones or whatever, and then they get sucked into the digital world as well.
Yeah, and they're going to keep.
And it's like, what's this?
It is a bit scary though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, for the concept of what they've shown, because it was like some air hostesses on a plane, like, let's watch the game when aren't they supposed to be doing the job?
Yeah, well, yes, true.
And firefighters as well. Like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be like looking. All right, I'm going to watch. Sorry, there's a fire going on over there.
It might have been on his break.
Didn't look like it.
But no, I know what you mean, and it is scary because everybody's on the phones nowadays. Like, if you go on a bus, you don't talk to anyone. You just go on your phone, don't you? And just block yourself out. Yeah. Like, that's what you do. And it's like, well, this phone does know everything about you. It knows your voice. It knows what you look like. It knows everything.
Which you kind of said, like, anything that's got a microphone, I can hear what you're saying type of thing. And
I can see you. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, this sounds so scary that it makes me just not want to have a phone.
Yeah. We win the game anyway, and everyone gets to go home now and everything, so it's all hunky-dory and that's all wrapped up and everything. But then it's kind of like a thing of Bugs Bunny has to sacrifice himself to break the glitch that was mentioned earlier in the film.
Wreck-It Ralph, this is all I could think of.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure there's something like that in Wreck-It Ralph, thinking about it. There's some similar things in, I guess more of the crossover stuff, because, in like they had like Sonic and other characters, didn't they, from the video game, Bowser and stuff. But that kind of worked because it was...
It's part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, game world and everything, so a whole conglomerate. But this is just unnecessarily just... Why were they there kind of thing? It's like they didn't even do anything. They were kind of just like, oh, look, there's that thing that I know from that show.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything. It's not like it should somebody had a line to say or anything like that. It was just people either dressed up or just CGI monsters in the background or whatever.
It just... So much work, not needed.
And speaking of monsters, they did make a little appearance, the little
Nerdlings,
whatever thing. So it's kind of like, are they going to at least make a nod to that? So I guess they did, but they didn't say anything or do anything. They're just like, yeah.
Yeah, that was literally it.
But even with Bugs Bunny's sacrifice, you kind of know, he's going to come back, isn't he?
Yeah. I initially looked at you and I was like, Bugs can't be dead. Then I was like, going to get a little bit, and I'm like, Sophie, don't be daft.
Yeah.
I was talking to myself, and the same like, Bugs isn't dead. They're not going to do that. Like, are they really?
No.
It's like killing off Mickey Mouse. That's all I could think in my head. So it's like, it'd be right. I know it sounds horrible.
No, they wouldn't do that, would they?
No. Like, why would you kill your main man?
Yeah.
Even though they did in Marvel, like killed Iron Man, but
main Iron Man, yeah.
Well, just he's the main man.
Yeah, that's when started it all.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then we go back to the, like, was it a week later or something, and then LeBron takes his kid to what he thinks is basketball camp or something, but it's actually the gaming. So it's like, yeah, go on and do that.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, Bugs Bunny comes to the real world and says, "Hello, I'm alive.
I'm coming clean.
Live with you for a while or something." It's like,
making it out that it's just him, and then he's like, "Oh, the whole gang are coming." And it's like, well, where are they gonna? I know they've got a big house, but
and it's like
probably not big enough.
Credits, and that's it. It's like, yeah.
And that's a wrap.
That's all, folks. Oh, so I think after all that,
yeah, it's been a long one.
Talking about that, I think we'll go to scoring now.
Okie. So no surprise here that the initial Looney Tunes is going to be higher.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say for me, I think 8 would be my score for the Looney Tunes. I can't...
Space Jam,
yeah. For the original.
Yeah.
I can't do higher just because obviously there's Michael Jordan's acting.
Yeah.
But it's still really, really lovely, light-hearted film.
Yeah.
There's nothing horrible about it. It's brilliant with the animation of the Looney Tune characters. They really sell it for you.
Yeah.
And you've got that 90 kind of nostalgia with the music and everything like that. It just really brings you back to childhood for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know it's the first time we've been in the cinema. It was actually an alright experience.
Yeah.
It was lovely because there were 2 meters apart, or 2 seats, and I love that, you know me.
Yeah.
I used to be really awkward, didn't I, when we went to the cinema? You always wanted to sit in the middle, and I'd be like, oh, I don't want a random person that I don't know sat next to me. So you used to like to sit on the end, and then Paul would have to sit next to the random person.
Yeah.
So you never got the middle view, did you, that you would normally want?
No.
So yeah, brilliant experience back at the cinema, not too...
Shame about the film, maybe?
Maybe a little shame about the film. I'd just give it a 6, I think. It's not poor.
It's been generous.
It's not crap. It is something that people probably will enjoy. It does have its rhymes and reasons of how it moves and why it is the way it is. And I do let it off because obviously there is a moral behind it of, you know, you can be whatever you want to be, let your child be like, do you kind of thing.
Yeah, very shoehorned in, but yeah, it's...
Looney Tunes are always brilliant. Like, even the kind of them being the Looney Tunes at the second half of the game was really good. Just too fangdangly fancy, but I don't know if that's just I'm sounding old, or if it was just a bit, felt too much content put in.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just took away the fact that the Warner Brothers has created everything and just kind of stripped it back a little bit, it would work better.
Yeah.
But I think 6 is, I'm just like, meh. Maybe a 5. I don't love it and I don't need to watch it again.
No, that's fine. I wasn't going in high expectations with that anyway, but I kind of just wanted to give it a fair chance rather than just rip on it for just, oh, well, why have they done that kind of thing? It's a fair shot, you know. So for me, it's kind of going to be a similar thing of what I did for Pokemon, the first movie, where it's kind of like there's going to be like a more critical score, and then there's the nostalgia rating of it, and it's going to be very much a similar case of what I scored that anyway. And I think that was what I remember rightly. What you scored the Pokemon movie was an 8 as well.
Oh, okay.
Yours, I think, without
That's
any
good.
You know, nostalgia or anything, but you wouldn't have really had that. So my critical score of it is a 6.
Is this the new one? Sorry.
The original Space Jam.
Really?
Yeah, but on a purely nostalgia based one, it's a 9.
Okay.
So obviously it's a very sweeping scoring system there, but it's always have fun watching this one. It's one of those guilty pleasures of mine, really. It's always a joy to watch, really. Of the growing up watching it and saying to watch it so many times, it's always good to come back to and just enjoy for what it is, really. The music, like I say, works in its favour, especially. I think, obviously, from the critical standpoint, you're looking at Michael Jordan's acting is, if you can call it that, is well, it's to be expected. But it's as you're watching it as from just an enjoyment perspective, it's you take it for what it is.
It kind of just you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah. Just don't really expect anything high from it. It's not Oscar worthy or anything like.
No, but Bugs is.
So then, in terms of the new one, I don't even know if it's. I kind of was thinking it was a 5, but then it's kind of like it's teetering down into the 4s maybe. I didn't really. I think really I didn't really get. Sadly, I didn't get a great deal of. It was enjoyable to a certain point, but it was certain elements would work, seeing the 2D side of the Looney Tunes and everything that would worked. I wish I could have seen more of that, and they've been in keeping with that when they were playing basketball. It obviously worked because near the end they came back and they were back to being 2D. So it's like, why couldn't that have been a thing? But it's like, the algorithm had to make them hip and
upgrade them.
Some bull crap like that. So and it's just there was nothing that really excited me. Like, I'm pumped for this game. Even it was.
It went on for too long as well. To be fair, so you score.
So I put it a 4.
Okay.
I think seeing it now, I'm not entirely struck up and really in pursuing it in the future to see it again. Really, kind of done the thing. There was just too much playing on the Warner Brothers stuff. There was I noticed also there was another thing with the Animaniacs. There was sat on the top of the spaceship when they came down to, I think, in for the second half or whatever. It's like, oh, that's like again, ooh, do you know who they are, kind of thing?
No,
but it's kind of didn't seem like what's the point of that other than go like, look what we've got type thing. It's like,
why do you need to do that?
I don't know.
They're well enough to to establish to not have to be thrown in. Oh, look what we did.
Yeah. So I think we're going to wrap up this recording now. It's been a warm day as it is, and it's a warm evening too, so.
It's not great, no. I know it sounds bad. It's typical Brits complaining about the heat, but it is warm. It is. But
stifling.
Yeah. Especially since we're at our house, we're back to back, and we get the sun all day, and there's no reprieve. It's literally, even though the sun's gone down, it is 21 at the moment. And the Americans will be thinking, what's he on about? That's just cold. But it's like, it's not in here.
We're in Celsius, by the way. They do it by Fahrenheit, so
true.
That's that as well. So.
But thank you so much for listening to us. I hope you've enjoyed us rambling on about Space Jam, the old/new. Definitely go and check it out. And if you do feel comfortable going to a cinema experience, it is something that is possibly enjoyable.
Possibly. Maybe if you've got younger kids,
and depending on what film you watch.
They like it.
But even just go to the cinema in general, they've seemed to, at the moment, what we experienced, it did seem to be feeling fairly safe.
Yeah.
God knows what the new rules will apply for us, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we go to witness anything new in the future. But for now, thank you very much for listening to this episode. Be sure to check out all our other episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you might get your podcasts from. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, mostly, under the handle SP_filmviewers. We've also got the Buy Me a Coffee page as well. Find in our bio and show notes and all that stuff if you would like to make a donation to what we do. And last but not least, we'll leave you on is next week it'll be covering 3 films.
So it's Paul's birthday weekend this next week coming. So we're actually going to go back to what we did last year, where we're going to be watching 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
So one that me and Paul haven't seen, one that Paul's seen and I haven't seen, and then one we've both seen but we're rewatching.
Yeah.
So obviously Paul's birthday is like midweek, so we've decided we're going to do it this next weekend so that we can kind of celebrate and do a movie marathon, because I don't think you can do a movie marathon on a Wednesday.
No. So then obviously come the Thursday as usual, that'll be hopefully out in time for that. If not, if it might be pushed to Friday perhaps, but it'll be out that week anyway, regardless. But
Yeah.
it'll just be a little bit later with the birthday celebrations, perhaps. But
yes,
do my best to get out for Thursday, if not Friday. So
make sure you go and check that one out too.
Yep. So thank you very much for listening, and we will speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye.
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 Bye.